Oh, damn. We're in trouble now.
No, it's all right. Somebody else start.
Hello.
Wow, Jesus.
Hi, and welcome back to another episode of We're in Trouble Now.
Mm-hmm. I remember why I don't let you guys start.
Why?
So, started off, this is your guys' first week with the new grind, I guess, the new social media grind. How do you guys think? Thoughts?
It's a little bit different than I expected.
Yeah, why is that?
Well, I don't honestly I know because I've only been streaming for a couple days, but it's like kind of getting into the mindset of, hey, I'm going to be starting to do this. I probably should have started it sooner, but I mean, it's okay.
Robert, thoughts?
Keep saying.
Yep.
You know what? I was thinking about it, Brandon, and sometimes I personally think that it's more detrimental for you to have that mindset than to just be like, you know what? I'm here now, and that's all that matters.
No, I know. And that's what I do. Like, now I have that. Honestly, after I read, like, the first chapter of this book that we have, like, that's kind of where my mind kind of put everything in place that it needed to be.
Yeah, because I mean, we are going to get to the book that we're going to be reading because we did start our book club of the Atomic Habits, but we're not going to talk about it yet. Nope. So I was really surprised this first week because Robert, it's kind of really a little irritating sometimes that you're right all the time.
It's weird,
Yeah.
right? It's almost like weird how everything I say
That's weird that you said
accurate. And it's like exactly like Don't Look Up, that movie, when I was like, hey guys, a meteor's coming. And you guys were like, no. You don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And you know what? And in all honesty, it's like because you kept on saying like, you know what? No matter, you're not going to have enough time.
Yep.
And I'm like, what's he talking about? You know, we're going to have 8 hours more. That is 8 hours of like, I'm going to get so much done. And just like the first day, I was like, I'm exhausted and I did not do hardly anything that I thought I was going to be doing.
Yeah. Time management. That's the real bitch.
Yeah, the name of the game.
Yeah. I don't know. And you know what? And truthfully, Robert, it always used to irritate me when you used to tell us that we needed to have time management because we had no time.
Sure.
But now I totally get with what you're saying. And so I apologize for talking behind your back.
It's fine, man. I'm so used to like me telling you exactly how the outcome or how like the easiest possible solution. And then time after time, you guys are like, no.
See,
this is like if I was like a ER doctor and you were like, and you guys got shot. And I'm like, hey, all you got to do is pull the bullet out. You're like, take the leg.
Yeah, no, that's actually very true.
You guys just have this knack of learning the hard way.
Yeah.
But you know what, truthfully, I mean, granted, I mean, you said that time management was important, but I don't think that we could have really have done anything with it until we were actually doing it.
Sure.
So I'm trying to paint Brandon and I in a little
You're trying to backtrack
bit.
to like save face, even
Yes.
though I've told you both numerous times about how this is going to be.
Yes. So what I was thinking about it is because I started writing my blog again, and the title of my next blog that I'm going to be writing tomorrow is I feel like I'm digging a hole in sand.
Oh, I thought it was going to be how to time.
I was going to say, if it's something about time management, I'm screaming.
No, because I mean, truthfully, that's the best way I can put it visually. It's because I feel like for every time I shovel 2 things of sand, it's like it just kind of trickles back. So instead of panicking, I feel like I need to just kind of drop in and find that rhythm and flow that's going to work for me.
Okay.
But I'm absolutely 100% over the moon excited for our new adventure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of One Piece lately, so I'm really excited.
So back to time management.
You've seen a lot of what? What's
It's an anime.
Oh, so let me ask you this, because I mean, individually, if y'all could answer this question, I would love to hear it. But I've had I've had a couple of people reach out to me being like, well, has it sunk in yet? I mean, are you scared yet? Are you worried yet? And my response is always like, no, I have no fear associated with this because it feels so right.
Sure.
But I was wondering, I mean, let me ask you the same question. I mean, do you have any fear or do you have like any remorse of like, maybe we shouldn't have done this?
No, I mean, the first day or the second day, I had a little bit of it, but other than that, not really. Because it doesn't feel like the wrong move that we made. You know, like it doesn't feel like what we did was premature or we stepped too much to where we didn't need to be. But I feel like it's definitely one of those things that it's more like you kind of have to just, it's like a sleeper in a sense, you know, like you just have to like, it waits, you know, like you don't really feel like it's going to come and then out of nowhere it just hits, you know, like that's probably the wrong way to say it. But
It's fine. No,
it's
I mean,
only
the
way
job,
I can say it.
I mean, just from somebody who's looking out, you know, the job was slowly killing you both.
Yeah,
Right.
100%.
There was times where I thought, Brandon, you were either going to relapse back into drugs or drinking, or Mom, I thought I was going to get a phone call from Brandon saying that you were in the hospital. Like,
Yeah.
because there was sometimes when you're like, oh yeah, I can't see out of my eye, or like I forgot to breathe, or my chest hurts, or I'm dizzy, and like that's no way to live, right?
No.
So like, I mean, regardless of whether or not this works out or not, you guys quitting is the right decision.
Yes.
Just in terms of your own mental health and in terms of your own physical health.
100%.
Yeah. And even in the short time that I've been doing this, Deborah actually asked me yesterday, she's like, well, you know, Lonnie.
Context, they don't know who Deborah is.
Deborah is one of my agents who is also one of my friends. But she told me, she's like, well, Lonnie, she's like, the great thing is you can always go back. You can always run a desk.
There's no rules to this.
Yeah. But it just doesn't have to be as busy. And at that point, I made the conscientious decision. I don't ever want to go back.
No.
I will find some other alternative way of making an income, but I never want that constraint of 9 to 5. And it made me realize, Robert, what you have been saying this whole time, again, gosh darn it,
Yep. Put it on the counter.
is, you know, because you've always been like, I can't work 9 to 5.
Yep.
And it finally, and I guess it just kind of dawned. I'm like, that is why he says that, and I understand it.
Yeah. Once you get that taste of freedom, it's hard to give up.
Yeah.
And I feel like, because I would hold a lot of stress in my jaw, but I feel like I don't have that stress anymore. And like, I don't really feel like it. I think just how heavy I sleep now, it's just like, I don't feel like I'm as stressed.
Yeah.
Well, I got to tell you, Robert, I mean, it seems like the focus is always on Brandon and I because we were at work the whole time.
Sure.
But I got to tell you, it's not like you were skipping around, you know, sing and fall la yourself either.
I don't know what any of that means.
Well, I'm just saying, you the thing is that you made a change also.
Yeah.
I mean, it just always sounds like Brandon and I are the ones that made the major change, but I mean, it affected you and you made a change too.
I mean, yeah. Well, the thing is, okay, so the thing is with, I think, versus me versus you both too, is I'm a little bit more comfortable in free fall, I feel like. I'm like Bane and you guys are like Batman. Yeah. You guys merely adopt in the dark.
I was born in the dark.
I'm used to this kind of, I don't want to say uncertainty, but I'm used to this freedom. You know, I've had it for a long time. And so I'm, you know, I was just looking at my phone right now. There's this photo that I saw, and it's like, those who don't move don't. I don't.
Well,
want to
yeah, it's like
it.
the Brad Pitt World War Z.
No,
one
no,
of my
no,
favorite
no,
things.
no. It's
Movement
those
is life.
those who do not
Yes.
move can't. Those who do not move do not feel their chains. You know, and it's that kind of aspect, right? You guys were just so stuck in your 9 to 5s that you felt like you were just there, versus like I've been very lackadaisical in my work schedule, or, you know, very free in my environment. And so like once you get that taste of freedom, I talk to stranger about it all the time on the phone. There's just, you know, there's no way like a cubicle would kill me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I did a TikTok today because, I mean, the whole thing is I'm not telling anybody to quit their job.
No.
But my TikTok today, and it's going to be a subject that I speak about quite often. But if there's anything in your life, whether it's your job, a relationship, or just whatever it is, if the amount of stress is going to affect your health, you have to start laying those plans down to make changes. Because, I mean,
What?
nothing. You're supposed to put your phone away, Robert.
I'm time management.
Oh, yeah. Brandon, keep an eye on him.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Wow.
but what I'm saying is it's such, to me, it's like, I guess I had to get out of it to realize what an important message it is. And, you know, and I just don't know, Brandon. I mean, I mean, my teeth don't hurt because my teeth used to hurt.
You grind your teeth.
Well,
yeah.
you would
Not
you
only-
would clench your jaw.
Yeah.
Not only, but I would like push on my front teeth with my tongue. So I'm like, I don't have buck teeth.
Well,
you know?
the thing is too is it's not like you guys are like on holiday or anything like that. I mean, like you're quitting one job for a more work intensive second, but the thing is that you guys just like doing the second.
Yeah.
Like Brandon, you started streaming this week.
Mm-hmm.
So how was that?
Scary.
Scary?
Scary a little bit. Like the first day, it was fine. I got up to 5 viewers, which is
Dang.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And then it went down to 1, which was myself.
That's
but
still.
yeah, no, but it's just like because I noticed it's easy to kind of talk. Like
Yeah.
even if I'm by myself, I just kind of like narrate what I'm doing and all
Yeah.
this shit. But it's interesting because I mean I'm trying to put on like I'm not trying to even put on a show. I'm just
Like a
trying to
persona?
No, not even. I'm just being myself.
Yeah.
You know, like I just do whatever I want to do, and then if I want to talk about something, I talk about it. If not, then not.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I just try to keep, like, I want to try to kind of like with my Instagram, with like, you know, the one that I have. I was just trying to keep like a nice, easy, chill vibe, you know, community, which I'm trying to find on stream
Mm-hmm.
or Twitch.
Keep in mind you've been doing this for 3 days,
And I don't know why I'm not making money.
It
That
takes
was-
people fucking. It took me like when I first started streaming. It took me 2 weeks to find my first viewer.
Yeah.
So I think you're okay.
I don't know.
If only there was somebody who was like kind of helping you and showing you the ropes.
You are.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
But nobody ever said you weren't, Robert.
I know, but you're like, it's been 3 days and I'm not famous.
No, but the
Yeah,
thing is
what's
that,
wrong with
I
that?
mean,
Oh
but the
my
problem
God.
is that Robert, he's just expressing his feelings.
I know.
But, and I think like also, it's not like an instant gratification, because I don't
Sure.
think we've ever even had instant gratification. But I think that's also why I did drugs. But it was just more of just like, I know it's going to be hard work, and I know
Yeah.
what I have to do, which is persistent or consistency.
Yeah.
Because like consistency is key.
Sure.
And I was even thinking about that a little bit today before I was streaming, was like, you know, the only way that I'm either going to get better or how this is going to actually work out is just being consistent. Because yesterday, which was Thursday,
Yeah.
I had like a little doubt in my mind.
Sure.
Just like, okay, well, what the fuck is going on? But I can't stop if I haven't even started yet.
Well, I mean, those are rational fears, and that's the rational thing for something to go through somebody's mind. And I think that's what stops a lot of people from doing anything, right? So just because that voice can be applied to anything other than streaming, and it's a lot like what's his name, James Clear says in the book, right?
Yeah.
It's not so much of like setting yourself up for disappointment. You just have to reorient your goals and your systems.
Yeah.
You know,
But it's more of just the system, because everybody has goals.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So, but really quick, I just want to, can I say two things really quick?
Sure.
Because I raised my hand.
okay.
As your mom, I just want to show you, you guys are just the same, but you're different.
Oh, I think we're completely different.
But the thing is okay. Brandon rushes into everything, and he'll try anything. Brandon's downfall is he doesn't stay with it.
Yes.
Robert,
100%.
yes. Now, Robert, yours is you never start things. So you never start things. So you put so many obstacles in front of yourself that you never start. So you start everything on
Without staying with it.
Yes, and then you just
Yeah.
never start. So what I'm trying to say, as your mom, I've seen so much growth in both of you, because Brandon, I've never seen you more persistent in going to keep things going. You have a resolve that you've never really had before. And Brandon and Robert, you are more of like, you're more free flowing than you've ever been.
Sure.
I mean, you've started things, and you've gone through new adventures in the last 6 months that, you know, truthfully, I don't think 2 years ago, we would still be planning it and thinking
Sure.
about it. So I just want to say, as an outsider looking in, I've seen personal growth for both of you.
Oh, good.
So Robert, when I was on my TikToks and when I did my lives, what I wanted to kind of do was, there's a lot of people out there who don't have extra disposable income, and they
Perfectly
can't
fine.
and they can't buy a book to read along with us.
Perfectly fine.
So is there any way that we can maybe like incorporate the overview of the chapter,
Yeah.
and then we can kind of break down some points of that way?
I think that's exactly what we should do.
Okay.
You know, that make this like that's why I think it's important that we go chapter by chapter every week. So this way we really pick apart everything in each chapter.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So-
Because I just, like I said, I promised them that we would
fair.
make it user friendly. So then that way, like I said, you know what, a lot of people are just like, an extra $20 is an extra $20, but
Yeah. And,
you know,
I have, like, there was something that was $20 that I wanted to buy,
yeah.
but I didn't do it because, I don't know, $20 seems like a lot now.
Oh, see, I'm the complete opposite.
yeah, well, apparently, yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, squirrel.
This fucking thing.
Yeah,
No,
so
but
yeah.
like, I don't know, because I would have been like, okay, cool, let me just, do
Yeah.
this real
Oh,
quick.
yeah.
But
Your purchases are more justified.
yeah, now I'm just like, is
Yeah.
it really worth it?
Well, that's also too why we're recording the episode in its entirety, so people who don't have the book can really be immersed in the experience.
Exactly.
So we are streaming 100% on YouTube, or recording 100% for YouTube. So on, is it Monday?
Monday.
You'll be uploading all 3 parts of the episode. We'll probably have to break it off in chunks.
And I got a notification from TikTok. I can actually break this into 3. I can do 10-minute TikToks now.
When you have to break this into 10-minute video or 10 videos.
I just don't know if I'm going to do 10-minute TikToks.
I wouldn't. Let's focus mostly on YouTube.
So Robert, would you like to kind of give an overview of the chapter?
Sure. So the name of the book that we're reviewing is called Atomic Habits. What are you doing?
like that.
What?
No, I like that. No, because I was like looking at it. I was like, all right.
Is that why you were wrestling?
No.
You were just trying to figure out. You were just trying to figure out the first thing that you could remember.
He got very little.
This is like when we were in high school, right? And you get elected to read, but you weren't paying attention. You don't know which paragraph you're on.
100%.
Okay. Do you want to do it?
No.
Okay.
Because when she was like, Robert, dude, I was like, all right. I like this.
Well, okay. So how about if we? I don't want it to always be Robert's responsibility.
No, I like this.
No.
This is so normal.
No.
Also,
so do you think next week maybe either Brandon and I should make a recap of the?
Sure. We'll go one by one.
Or Robert.
Because I'm going to be honest, I was pretty dead set on I thought I was being the only one who read.
I like this.
Yeah. No, I actually really enjoyed the book.
It's a good book.
But I don't want it to, I'm really trying to get away from one person filling the majority of the weight.
Fair.
So next week, do you want to talk about chapter 2 or do you want me to?
I think Brandon should.
Oh.
Okay. You can tell the overview of the chapter for chapter 2 next week and then I'll do chapter 3.
Okay.
Robert, continue.
So the book that we are starting to read is called Atomic Habits by James Clear. And we're on the first chapter, which is titled The Surprising Power of Atomic Habits. Now, he goes into detail about why the name of the book is called Atomic Habits, because much like the atomic, molecule, the habits that we set ourselves up changes on such a micro level that it really sets you up for like grander success later on in life. So the whole premise of the book is to not so much be goal oriented, but to be system oriented, to find little things throughout your day that may be so small in importance that overall lead to a bigger like a bigger goal, I guess. So it's less goal oriented or goal driven and then system. And he sets off a really good example right here on page 14. And he says, excuse me as I flip over. And he says, he sets an example of the British bicycling team. And they hadn't won anything and like they hadn't won a medal in I think over 100 years up until this Dave Brailsford comes over and he starts reamping everything. And instead of focusing the whole goal on winning this medal, he changes everything, right? So he changes the way the seats sit, their types of clothing, the muscle recovery, their diet. He basically changes all these little habits that may or may not be significant, and they end up making this huge income in their outcome, and they end up winning a lot of medals. And he says, the whole principle came from the idea that if you broke down everything you could think of that goes into riding a bike and then improve it by 1%, you will get a significant increase when you put them all together. Brailsford and his coaches began to make small adjustments you might expect from a professional cycling team. They redesigned the bike seats to make them more comfortable and rubbed alcohol on the tires for better grip. They also asked riders to wear electronically heated overshorts to maintain an ideal muscle temperature while riding and used biofeed. Are you staring at me? Are you staring at me?
I'm just watching.
Biofeedback sensors to monitor how each athlete responded to a particular workout. The team tested various fabrics in a wind tunnel and had their outdoor riders switch to indoor racing suits, which proved to be a lighter and more aerodynamic. So he just goes into detail about how the little things that we do on a day-to-day really affect our overall outcome. And he sets a couple of other examples, for example, like diets and muscle mass and things like that. He also goes into detail over here. He says, it's so easy to overestimate the importance of one defining moment and underestimate the value of making small improvements on a daily basis. Too often we convince ourselves that massive success requires massive action. Whether it is losing weight, building a business, writing a book, winning a championship, or achieving any other goal, we put pressure on ourselves to make some earth-shattering improvements that everyone will talk about. So it's very similar to like, C.T. Fletcher says it a lot too. He's a professional bodybuilder. And he's like, everybody wants to get heavy, or everybody wants to get big, but nobody wants to lift any heavy ass weights. Mm-hmm. People tend to only see the goal versus the system that is in need in order to achieve that goal, right? So you see, oh my God, you lost like 100 pounds. How'd you do it? Like, I wish I could do that. And you're like, yeah, you can absolutely do it. You just have to change the way your brain is firing, the way your brain thinks about things. Mm-hmm. So it's very, very interesting. Then he goes into little details too about, a little bit of everything regarding that. And he also goes on the next page. He says, but when you repeat 1% errors, he also talks about the pros and the cons, right? So it has good habits and bad habits, right? So depending on how you structure your system, how you structure your day could either lead to bad or negative habits or good and positive habits. And he says, but when we repeat 1% errors day after day by replicating poor decisions, duplicating tiny mistakes, and rationalizing little excuses, our small choices compound into toxic results. It's the accumulation of many missteps. A 1% decline here and there might eventually lead to a problem. So it's
right. I highlighted that area in my book also.
Oh, you're over there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I really like the paragraph above it where it says, if you save a little money now, you're still not a millionaire. If you go to the gym 3 days in a row, you're still out of shape. If you study Mandarin for an hour tonight, you still haven't learned the language. We make few changes, but the results never seem to come quickly, so we slide back into previous routines. So we're just a society of instant gratification, and I think that to me, it's like, it's really easy to start something, just like the adventures that we're on right now. I mean, it's really easy to say, yes, I'm going to, go live every single day and have like maybe 5 people on my live. It's really easy for me to be like, that wasn't any fun, so I'm not going to do it anymore.
Sure. No, it's the truth. I mean, but saying it too also has so much power, right? If you're like, okay, well, I'm going to go live, and especially too if you say it to somebody. So if Brandon was like, you know what, I'm going to go live Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. He's kind of already said it. He's already spoken it. So he's already made that 1% system into setting his goal, and then his goal is to stream every single day, right? So it's setting little itty bitty micro goals to which otherwise make a larger successful thing.
Yeah, and then sorry.
Oh, keep going.
I was gonna say, like, with that as well, it's like, I put it on Instagram today too, and that's why I did it. It was just like, if nobody really knows about it, like, what else kind of systems can I really put into place to get myself out there more?
That's exactly it, right? That's exactly what this book is talking about, right? Everybody wants that goal, and that goal is to be a successful streamer, but nobody does the systems in which order to obtain that goal, right? So nobody's broadcasting on Instagram, nobody's making clips or making YouTube videos or putting on TikTok. They're not doing the small little steps, the small 1% changes that'll get you to that goal, right? Like everyone wants that end game, right? That winning. What's up?
Right. No. But it kind of case in point of where we're all at right now, because we've blasted it to the world that, we quit our jobs and we're going to be doing this in social media. And it's amazing how many people are be like, oh my God, that's so awesome. How do you do that?
Yeah.
And to me, it's like, well, you have to work. We've been working on this every single day for a lot of years.
Sure. Yeah. No, there's definitely a lot of back work, right?
Yeah.
And that's the trick of it all, right? Is to make it look so easy that anybody could do it, where they don't see the strings behind, all the magic.
Yeah.
So no, it's a really interesting book so far. And he goes into detail too, just about how restructuring the way you look at the world, the way you look at your daily routine, right? He says your outcomes are lagging. Oh, he goes into detail a little bit over here about, again, negative and positive habits. And he says your outcomes are lagging measures of your habits. Your net worth is lagging measure of your financial habits. Your weight is a lagging measure of your eating habits. Your knowledge is a lagging measure of your learning habits. Your clutter is a lagging measure of your cleaning habits. You get what you repeat, right? So
I liked that line.
Yeah, it's a really good. You get what you reap what you sow, right? So if you're only doing the bare minimum, if you're only giving half-ass effort, you're not going to get that end game. And again, just because we're talking about streaming, it's just so relevant, right? You're not going to get like that huge boost of followers, the huge boost of viewers if you're not putting in the legwork in the end run. Right. And I'm just going to keep using streaming as an example. I hope that's okay.
No, because like even with yesterday, because like I usually do a 3-hour stream.
Yeah.
But I mean, I cut it down an hour because I got disheartened. And I was just like, well, what the fuck? Like nobody's watching this. What's going on? Yeah. But then that was just my own mind. It's like, I can't just stop because, nobody's there. It's like, all because and again, it's only been 3 days, but like.
But acknowledging it and saying it and acknowledging it, I think, is a really huge step.
Yeah, no, 100%.
It really comes up with a really good point, because it comes down right down here to my next topic. And he goes into writing, he goes, time magnifies the margin between success and failure. It will multiply whatever you feed it. Good habits make time your ally. Bad habits make time your enemy, right?
That's cool.
Yeah, no, it's huge too. And it definitely applies to what you're thinking, Randy, where you're like, oh, well, I just don't either. You're not putting in the right time management skills for that day or that goal, and it ends up, not working out for you, then you're like, well, it's just not the case. And then it kind of like, I think it helps you make the decision to like quit. And this could be applied to anything, right? This could be applied to financing. This could be applied to weight loss. If you're not letting time kind of run its course in terms of, let's just use weight loss, right? So if you're not eating healthy consistently, time's not going to be your ally, right? You're going to see that you're not losing weight. You're going to see that you may be gaining weight, or you're not losing weight as quickly as you are. And that's because you're not setting these small little goals, right? So you're not switching out your breakfast, your heavy breakfast for a lighter oatmeal or yogurt and things like that. So
your system, you have the wrong system. Your system
exactly.
Your system is not in place.
Exactly, right? You're setting yourself
instead
up for...
instead of having failure, figure out what you need to eat for breakfast that will help you lose weight.
Yeah.
Instead of just being like, well, that didn't work, figure out why it didn't work and make those little changes.
Yeah. I mean, his whole principle along the chapter, right, is not so much, don't be so much in-game goal oriented, but structure your day in which that would lead to
for success. Yeah.
Because you got to think about it. Like everybody has the same goals. Say if they wanted to lose weight or they wanted to be a bodybuilder, you can have the goals, but what is it in the system that you're making is either going to bring you there or it's going to keep you into where you're at.
Well, so often people are like, oh, I want to lose weight, but I don't know where to start, right? And this book is basically like saying, like, start anywhere you can, but you have to start, right? So start by going for a walk after dinner. Start by, cutting out any fatty foods. Start by drinking less soda, less alcohol. Like, just start. And then start structuring your day that would ultimately lead for success, right? So
because what I found myself doing, like the first couple of days, because again, we've had 4 days under our belt, but the first couple of days I found myself doing like a lot of busy work that wasn't productive work.
Yeah.
And I found myself just doing that because it was instant gratification, because I felt like I was working. Yeah. And so by the second day I was like, you know what, I'm not getting anywhere. Even before reading this chapter, I'm like, my systems aren't working. So I really had to like make some, I made some adjustments really quickly, and I'm glad I did. Yeah.
And then going towards Robert, because there was one part, like how you said, it doesn't matter where you start, just start.
Yeah.
And there's this part that says, that said, it doesn't matter how successful or unsuccessful you are right now. What matters is whether your habits are putting you on the path towards success. You should be far more concerned with, that's...
yeah, you're doing great.
No. I was just trying to figure out. Yeah, no, that's pretty much it. It's like, what that is said, it doesn't matter how successful or unsuccessful you are right now. What matters is whether the habits you're putting on the path towards success. So it's like you said, as long as you start somewhere, it's going to put you on the path of success. And then if you stop, then that's just a step back. Yeah.
Well, like he says, consistency is key, and then, basically it's like always be like, dress for the job you want, not the job you have, kind of thing. You want to keep your eye on the future while being conscious of today, kind of thing.
So now, do you think that this kind of correlates with what we're talking about? But I remember when I was selling real estate, and we would have to cold call. Yeah. And cold calling is where you randomly find a phone number, you pick up the phone and you call them and you ask them if they want to buy or sell real estate.
I did that with selling cars.
Yes, except you always just called Barbu.
I called random people.
Yeah. I know. So, but the whole philosophy was nobody wanted to pick up the phone.
Dude, call Barbu. I talked to her for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, I know. She would, every time you'd hang up, she'd be like, yeah, Brandon was making cold calls again. And we had a really nice conversation. But the whole thing is, it's like, we never wanted to do it, but the whole philosophy was it behind like you had to get through 50 no's to get to a yes. Yeah. So it's kind of like, do you think it correlates kind of like you have to start and you have to keep going to get to that end result?
Yes and no. I think that is a little different than what I think he's trying to say in this book. I think it's more of not so much like the 50 no's equals to one yes. I think it's how maybe you word yourself or how you change little things in your conversation that would overall lead to a success. So if you, if you were like, hey, like if somebody answers the phone, they're like, hello. And you're like, yeah, would you want to buy a car? And just if you're a little bit more aggressive, then if you change that bad habit that would otherwise get you a no,
that would get you a yes faster.
It would get you a yes faster. So instead of like, oh, hi, how are you? My name is so-and-so. I'm a realtor at blah, 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 blah. I just want to let you know. And you just structure, it can be so small and minute, like such as calling somebody on the phone that you restructure into getting that yes. It's not so much a numbers game. It's more of how you
Structuring it. Got it. Okay.
Your style. What's
And
up?
that can also be with just how you talk to yourself as well.
Yeah, it's actually a really good point, because his next page right here, right? He
Right.
talks about your habits can compound for you or against you. And I noticed, Mom, you and I highlighted the same page, and he has positive and negative compounding. And one thing says negative thoughts compound. It says the more you think of yourself as worthless, stupid, or ugly, the more you condition yourself to interpret life that way. You get trapped in a thought loop. The same is true for how you think about others. Once you fall into the habit of seeing people as angry, unjust, or selfish, you see those kinds of people everywhere, right?
Yeah.
So I just want to bring this up real quick.
Sure.
You have sticky notes
Yeah.
where you found stuff.
Yeah.
She highlighted her stuff.
Yep.
I searched the book to find out where I'm at and to read real quick.
And this surprises you how?
Just how different we all are.
Yep.
But how same you guys are.
Well, I think some.
I'm going to send you home with a highlighter.
I was gonna say, I think
don't
some
want
people
one.
understood the assignment. Because the whole premise of this was to read the book and then tell the viewer about the book.
But
No, yeah.
I feel like you and the
I
viewers
think-
are learning this firsthand.
No,
yeah,
no, no.
but I
Okay.
think this first chapter is really going to help Brandon, because he's going to come in next week. Time management, a little bit sharper tool than
You mean read it on that Friday? Yes.
Yeah. So maybe they make this like a Wednesday thing. Like
Well,
I
I was-
read this on Wednesday.
I was
Or
gonna
just
keep it
read
on
it
Friday.
You can read it Friday morning, but maybe what you're going to want to do is just write down some notes of some areas that, because I mean, a lot of these
You sure you
things-
don't want sticky notes?
No, because I had a lovely time this morning with my coffee, just sitting there reading my book.
Yeah, but the sticky notes are literally just right next to you.
Then what you're going to have
No.
to do is, before we do our podcast, before we go live, you're going to have to go back through it and come up with your talking points.
Oh,
Or
I
what
remember.
about a pencil? Why don't you just underline everything?
Oh, that's right, because I'm going to be talking next week.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
never mind. I have a highlighter at home.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I like how you just take all of our ideas and you're like, oh wait, I have to do something, and then
I completely forgot.
yeah.
So, and I agree with that one, Robert. That was a very powerful part right there, because I do believe negativity does breed negativity.
Yeah, sure.
And you know what? If you are a negative person, you're going to find negativity in anywhere you go.
Because it even says you get trapped in a thought loop,
Yeah.
which is the truth. You know, like you're like one negative thought goes into another, goes into another, goes into another. Like when I had, I'm pretty sure, depression,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
or just negative all the time, like that, it was just my thoughts. I
Yeah.
got trapped in my thoughts.
Yeah,
Mhm.
right.
Like, oh, you're not going to do this, or you're not going to be able to do this. What are you doing? You're not going to be happy, yada, yada, yada. And it's just like, yeah, it's once you kind of break out of that loop, everything just gets better.
Yeah, you're like a little glass case of emotion,
Mhm.
right?
Right. And what I was thinking too is like, because Brandon, you do live by yourself, what you have to be really careful about is that you don't get into that negative thought loop when, you know, your streaming isn't as, you know, when you don't have as many people in there as you would like.
Well, I got a fluffy cat at home. I get the pet.
Yeah, no, but I think what Mom is saying too, that like,
No, yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
you get stuck in that loop, right? You're like, oh, I didn't have anybody come
You're,
in, or I didn't
you're
get a follower.
predispositioned to that loop.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
what I'm saying.
Today I had another person on for almost the entire time.
Yeah.
So I think we're going in the right direction.
Well,
Yes.
it's recalibrating your system, right? So if you're like, if I just try to get one follower a day, that's my whole goal for that day,
Yeah.
right? So like I'm going to restructure my system. So I'm going to post on Instagram, hey, I'm live. I'm going to post Instagram shorts. I think it's what are they called?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Instagram
Reels.
stories,
No,
reels.
Reels.
Yeah.
Whatever the ones are that go away in 24 hours, you know?
They go away in 24
Stories.
hours.
Stories.
The reels stay forever.
Okay,
The stories
stories.
go away.
Yeah, I'm going to do an Instagram story that's telling people I'm live. I'm going to go on Twitter, tweet out I'm live. I'm going to do a TikTok, tell people I'm live. If you start restructuring your day and how you start it, or your systems of that goal, then you're going to reach that goal a lot easier than you're like, well, I'm just going to go live. If it happens, it happens, right?
Yeah.
There's two different ways, right? That'd be a lot like if you're fishing on a boat, you didn't put any bait on your hook. You're like, well, if I catch a fish, I catch a fish. You don't restructure your habits in a way that would be productive.
Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
then like you say, time is, you know, you're doing it for like 3 days, and it's hard to see that tangible results
Because it's been 3 days.
because it's been 3 days. And actually he talks about it on the next page too, right? He says, people make a few small changes, fail to see the tangible result, and decide to stop. You think, I've been running every day for a month, so why can't I see any change in my body? Once this kind of thinking over, did I skip ahead?
What page
No.
you on?
I'm on page 21,
Oh, no.
the very top right.
Yeah. You're
Yeah.
there.
Okay. It says people make a few small changes, fail to see any tangible results, and decide to stop. You think, I've been running every day for a month, so I can't see why I can't see why any change in my body, blah, blah, blah. Once this kind of thinking takes over, it's easy to let good habits fall by the wayside. But in order to make a meaningful difference, habits need to persist long enough to break through this plateau, what I call the plateau of latent potential.
Mm-hmm.
You see?
See, because I thought the ice cube.
That was a good example.
That was a good
You
example.
want to clarify on that?
Sure. What the ice cube is he says basically that if you're in a room that's that's in a freezing room and you put an ice cube out on the counter, and then you start, okay, I'm not doing as well as Robert, but okay, you're in a room and it's a freezing cold room and it's 26 degrees. You put an ice cube on the counter, and then it's not going to freeze. Then you turn up the heat to melt. Then you turn up the heat to 27. It's not going to melt. You turn it up to 28. It's still not going to melt. 29, 30. You turn up the temperature to 31 degrees and the ice cube still is not going to melt. You turn up the temperature 1 more degree to 32 degrees, it's going to start to melt. And to me, it was really a very visual way to look at it. It's we work, and we give up before we get to the 32 degrees.
Yeah.
Because we just don't see the outcome.
Sure.
So again, I guess like you said, Robert, it's really important every day. I think that we need to stop and kind of look back at our days. If it's not as productive as we want, we have to figure out what systems do we have to change.
Exactly.
You know, and that's a really good idea, Robert. I didn't even think about Brandon going out on Instagram, TikTok, you know, being like, hey guys, come on over and watch me stream. And I was thinking just right now, I don't know how you guys are feeling about this, but since we do have more time, do you want to set aside some time to do maybe a TikTok live and an Instagram, a live Instagram once a week?
Well, I think we should. I mean, regardless of what we say about it, we absolutely should. When we have all these tools at our disposal, it'd be counterintuitive for us to talk about a book about how we change our systems and our goals and not
change our
anything,
systems and our goals.
right? So,
and because I know in the past, our weekends were very, oh gosh, it was like we didn't want to talk to anybody. I mean, I would wake up in a sheer panic because I had so much to do because I was trying to do all this content in 2 days. So I'm thinking that maybe we could set aside either a Saturday or a Sunday to where we just, you know, we go live on each platform and try to start actually putting these tools to work and see, you know, if it helps.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, how do you obtain your goal? You change your systems, right?
Yeah.
So, and like they say, that he goes down a little bit below it. And he talks about the plateau of latent potential, right? That second paragraph down. He says, when you finally break through the plateau of latent potential, people will call it an overnight success. The outside world will only see this as the most dramatic event rather than all that preceded it. But you know that it's, but you know that it's the hard work that, but you know, that's where
you're making me feel better.
That it's the work you did long ago when it seemed that you weren't making any progress that makes the jump today possible, right? That goes back to the ice cube.
Yeah, it's kind of like nobody was there when it was 26 degrees, but they walked in when it was 31 degrees, right when you were turning it to 32 degrees.
And they're like, oh my God, I made the ice cube melt. They don't see the gradual progression.
Yeah, and then if you even go a paragraph down from that, it says that it's the human equivalent of geological pressure. 2 tectonic plates can grind against one another for millions of years, the tension slowly building all the while. Then one day they rub each other once again in the same fashion they have for ages, but this time the tension is too great. An earthquake erupts. Change can take years before it happens all at once. I mean, again, it can be years, it can be months. You know, I mean, it's something that does take time to do. Because I know with the gym, like, you know, when I first started working out, it took 3 months before I actually saw something.
Yeah.
You know, and I thought it was going to be after a month.
Yeah.
But it was just that consistency and, you know, the time of wanting to do it. That's what changed it.
Well, it's like Mom says, right? Everybody wants that instant gratification, right?
Yeah.
People want to lift that weight, and then by the time they put the weight down on the ground, they want to see results.
Yeah.
Right. And it's just, unfortunately, it's just not the way the world works.
Yeah. Or, you know, it's like, I want this, so I'm just going to take a pill. Or I want this, so I'm going to buy that, you know. And sometimes it just takes good old fashioned persistence and hard work. But again, going back to the start of this podcast, I just feel like this is the right thing to do. So I just I think we're going to be adjusting and just shifting around the way we're supposed to for success. But continue, Robert.
Sure. He goes more into saying, I'm thinking about a page or two in front of you guys, but he talks about, the difference between goals, like establishing a goal and then establishing a system, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he talks about how having a goal and only focusing on that goal without establishing good habits can be kind of detrimental, right? He says achieving a goal only changes your life for a moment. That's the counterintuitive thing about improvement. We think we need to change our results, but the results are not the problem. What we really need, right here.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I was just skimming ahead.
Oh, okay. I lost my place. What we really need to change are the systems that cause those results. When you solve problems at the result level, you only solve them temporarily. In order to improve for good, you need to solve the problems at the systems level. Fix the inputs, and the outputs will fix themselves.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool. And he goes into saying is the implicit assumption behind any goal is this: once I reach my goal, then I'll be happy.
Yes, that was a big one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is the problem with a goals first mentality is that you've been continually putting happiness off until the next milestone. I've slipped into this trap so many times I've lost count. For years, happiness was only something for my future self to enjoy. I promised myself that once I gained 20 pounds of muscle, or that after my business was featured in the New York Times Magazine, then I would finally relax. Furthermore, goals create an either-or conflict. Either you achieve your goal and you're successful, or you fail and you're a disappointment. You mentally box yourself into a narrow version of happiness. This is misguided. It is unlikely that your actual path through life will match the exact journey you had in your mind when you set out. It makes no sense to It makes no sense to restrict your satisfaction to one scenario when there are many paths of success. Mm-hmm. And it says a systems first mentality provides the antidote. When you fall in love with the process rather than the product, you don't have to wait to give yourself permission to be happy. You can be satisfied anytime your system is running. And a system can be successful in many different forms, not just the one you first envisioned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So basically, really cool. It's just saying we can enjoy our journey of getting to where we want to go. And I think we are all horribly guilty of saying we're going to be happy when this happens. Mm-hmm.
Well, it's easy. I think it's a write-off.
Yeah, because you're just like, okay, well, once I get there, I'm going to be happy. But what about the entire journey?
Sure. Well, it kind of validates your reasoning for not being happy at the moment, right? Or like, well, I'm not going to be happy until I reach 10,000 followers, or I'll be happy once I make this goal or that goal. Mm-hmm. Where it's, he says, fall in love with the system, not the goal, right? So.
Do you think we fell into that trap just because we were not really happy with ourselves at the time?
What do you mean? Like,
well,
do you have an
example? For example, like, during my journey of sobriety, it's like I didn't really like myself. So I would always be like, well, if I could do this, like when I had a gambling addiction, if I won a jackpot, I'd be happy. Yeah. I could have won every single jackpot in the casino and I still would have been miserable.
Yeah. Well, he goes into saying that's that although it's a negative habit, that is a negative goal, right? And that you kind of validated your reasoning for being, letting that negative habit coincide with your existence, right? They're like, well, this is bad at the moment, but once I win this jackpot, then I'll be happy. Right. Once I win this jackpot, everything that I did beforehand won't matter,
Yeah.
Because I think that this is the first time in our lives that we can actually enjoy the journey.
Sure.
Because I think this is the first time in our lives that we've actually been content where we are to allow ourselves to be happy with the journey.
Totally. Yeah. Well, and there's also too, like, we're, thankfully we're figuring this out, at the moment, right? And we're able to kind of change any of these bad habits. It'd be very similar to like if you went to a gym, and you were like, oh, once I lose 30 pounds, then I'll be happy. Where that's not the process. You have to kind of fall in love with the act of working out.
Well, it's like going to the gym and having somebody be like, hey, let me show you how to lift those weights properly. You're like, nope, I'll wing it. And you do it wrong, and then you don't understand why you don't have the outcome you want.
Yeah, well, like anybody who's ever done a really good workout, Brandon, right? Brandon can attest to this, right? You do a really good workout, and you feel really good after.
Really good.
You don't lose 10 pounds at the workout, but if you go really hard and you have a system that works, you drink a lot of water that day, you had a good amount of food, you had healthy food, you got a good amount of sleep, and you go to the gym the next day and you lift really hard and you have a really good workout, you feel very, very good after. And it wasn't the goal that you set out to, but it's the goal that you unintentionally are getting.
Yeah, even the following day after that, it's like after you work out and then the next day you're like, damn, dude, I'm really sore today. Or like, I just feel, even though that you're sore, you just feel really, really good.
Exactly, right? And you're not losing, you're not literally dropping pounds at that very moment at that particular workout, but you're inadvertently working towards that goal.
All your systems were in place and you had a really good workout that gave you that really good feeling for days following.
Yeah. You fall in love with the process, not the goal, right?
Exactly. That's a really good visual representation of what we were talking about.
Did you already go over the goals restrict your happiness? Page 26.
No, go for it.
Oh, okay. Well, I just didn't know because I saw something below that.
Yeah, I think I read the first paragraph.
Okay. Then I saw goals are at odds with long-term progress. And it's just the first chapter.
Yeah, read that.
It says, finally, a goal-oriented mindset can create a yo-yo effect. Many runners work hard for months, but as soon as they cross the finish line, they stop training. The race is no longer there to motivate them. When all their hard work is focused on the particular goal, what is left to push you forward after you achieve it? This is why many people find themselves reverting to their old habits after accomplishing a goal. Because like at that point, if you already got your goal and you've already done everything you needed to do, it's like at that point, what are you going to do? Because like, do you really have a plan after you hit the goal?
But it would be kind of like, let's just say your goal is to have 10,000 followers.
Yes.
So you put all these systems into place, you get 10,000 followers, then you stop doing everything you put into place.
Yeah, because it's you get into a comfort zone and you already have everything that you have.
Yeah.
So instead of that point, instead of just like, okay, cool, let's get another 10,000, it's like, okay, I hit my goal, what next? But again, you just got to keep following the system and then just reach the same goal. As long as you either just kind of, it's rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
You have to rinse.
It's like muscle memory,
Yeah.
right? But if your goal is to make 10,000 followers and you develop a system that lets you in order to do so, right? You've already got that muscle memory.
Yeah.
So you're already in the habit of making these really good positive choices that make your 10,000 into 20,000. It just gets easier with that large number.
Yeah. Cause like I even thought about it today. Cause like I do play like a first person shooter game.
Sure.
And I was thinking about it cause I switched from controller to keyboard, like mouse and keyboard. And it's a whole different ball game, like you were even saying today. And it's just more of like, because I almost want to revert back to the controller because it was easier, but at the same time it's like I won't get better unless I try it. And then like I just got to practice and I got to do stuff to put in the practice to get better at it, and like instead of just being like, okay, well this is easy, so I'm just gonna go do that. It's like I want to continue trying to do something new, so I have to put the system in place to get better instead of just like, damn, why can't I get better? It's like,
well it's like, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that's a very inherent trait in most mammals, right? If you look at, that's why snare trapping is so successful in Africa and poaching is so successful with snares, is because mammals will take the easiest path there is, right? They won't intentionally go for a harder direction or harder path. They'll always take the road that's easier for them, and unfortunately it leads to very detrimental processes. It may not be so so small as like switching from controller to keyboard, but those habits, those easy shortcut habits, will end up getting you killed.
Yeah, but I mean, it's also too, Brendan, it's like what I was just going to say, it's like with your Poshmark account, in the past you would have just been like, easiest way, that's it, but you've really taken some time and you've really put some effort into it and you've really been open for learning. In just giving you a compliment and praise where, I think it's well deserved. It seems like you're putting time into your systems more than just reaching really quick for that short-term instant gratification.
Oh, 100%. And I kind of, honestly, after I read the first chapter of this book, that's like everything kind of just clicked and like fell into place. And I was like, I really have to not, because like I do enjoy hard work, I'll put the work in, that's the thing. But I think with something that changed in myself today was more of, I can't just look at it like, okay, cool, why isn't everybody coming to me or like this and that and all that. But it's more like I have to sit there and I actually have to put in all this like more things into the system of achieving what I want. And like you were saying, Robert, it's like, just muscle memory of if you do it constantly over and over and over again. No matter what my goal is, I'm going to continuously do it.
Yeah.
Because at that point, it's just going to continuously get me to where I want to be.
Yeah. It's second nature, right? You're like, oh, well, I know this works, so why would I want to change it?
Exactly.
Kind of thing, you know, so like a lot of those those YouTube videos, right, talk about the importance of just waking up and making your bed, right? Something so small as making your bed might change your overall mindset, right? So if you make your bed, you'll have a cleaner room. If you have a cleaner room, you'll be a little bit more motivated to, you know, go out and do something more productive, right? It's almost like a snowball effect. These small minute changes that we're doing to affect our day to day can be both either negative or positive.
I've noticed since we quit, I actually make my bed every morning.
Yeah.
And, you know, like during my
YouTube
time.
brand?
No.
Oh.
Yeah. But during my time of like, you know, between getting up and having my coffee and stuff, you know what, I'm constantly picking stuff up. And, you know, to me, it's the momentum is going in the right place.
Yeah.
And, you know, like this whole yo-yo effect, like Brandon just read about, I'm sitting here and I'm like, you know, on my TikTok, when I first started my TikTok account, I was very systematically going lives and I had, you know, a great connection with my community, and I have let that fall aside.
Sure.
You know, and I realize and I know I have to rebuild my systems with TikTok, because that last 25,000 to $1 million is just kicking my butt.
Sure.
And it's and part of me, I'm like, you know, I don't have it. But in the reality is I haven't, my systems have completely crumbled on my platform.
Yeah.
You know, so this is a really good time, and I'm really glad that we're reading this book. So it's kind of given me the opportunity to reevaluate and be like, okay, Lonnie, what systems do you have to put into place to get you where you need to want to go?
Yeah. It's a really good point, because they end up kind of summing up the chapter at the very end. And he says, if you're having trouble changing your habits, the problem isn't you. The problem is your system. Bad habits repeat themselves again and again, not because you don't want to change, but because you have the wrong system for change. You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. Focusing on the overall system rather than the simple goal is one of the core themes of this book. It is one of the deeper meanings behind the word, it's one of the deeper meanings behind the word atomic. By now, you've probably realized that an atomic habit refers to a tiny change or marginal gain, a 1% improvement. But atomic habits are more than just old habits, however. But atomic habits are not just any old habits. However, I messed up. It says they are little habits that are part of a larger system. Just as atoms are the building blocks of all molecules, atomic habits are the building blocks of all remarkable results. Habits are like the atoms of our lives. Each one is fundamental Each one is a fundamental unit that contributes to your overall improvement. At first, these tiny routines seem insignificant, but soon they build on each other and fuel bigger wins that might multiply to a degree that far outweighs the cost of their initial investment. They are both small and mighty. This is the meaning of the phrase atomic habits, a regular practice or routine that is not only small and easy to do, but also the source of incredible power, a component of the system of compounded growth.
Yeah.
And then I noticed as well the paragraph before that one.
Yeah.
It's showing the purpose of setting goals is to win the game. The purpose of building systems is to continue playing the game. True long-term thinking is goalless thinking. It's not about the single accomplishment. It is about the cycle of endless refinement and continuous improvement. Ultimately, it is your commitment to the process that will determine your progress.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I mean, you just have to continuously do it, like no matter what, even if you hit it. I mean, it's the truth. You know, the goals are to win the game, but how are you going to take it to win the game? And are you going to continuously play the game even after you win?
Right, because it's like saying, like, I want to be here, and only focusing on your outward goal.
Yeah.
You have to focus on what you're going to do to get there.
Yeah, totally.
You know?
Well, it's very true, because it's like everybody wants to win the game, but nobody wants to put in the work, right?
Yeah.
So he references the basketball game, and he's like, everybody wants to win the state championship, right? But nobody wants to do fundamental drills. Nobody wants to do the dribbling, the shooting, the guard, all the small little things that they used and trained with to win the big game, right? It's just like the same with followers, right? Everybody wants to have 10,000 followers. Everybody wants to have 10,000 viewers, but nobody wants to put in the small work behind the scenes to get that.
I mean, just even giving myself for an example, I mean, it's like I've been on YouTube now for a year, over a year. And I am by no means anywhere near where I want to be. but that it's not stopping me. And with your help, I have redid my systems, and I think I'm in a better shot right now.
Yeah, you're definitely in a better spot.
Yeah. So it's just a matter, I guess, if you want to achieve something and it's not happening, don't stop trying to achieve it. Just look at what you're doing and see how you can make improvements rewire your habits. So a real quick chapter summary. It says, habits are the compound interest of self-improvements. Getting 1% better every day counts for a lot in the long run. So I really think that we just need to stop being so hard on ourselves, because I fundamentally think that we're reprogrammed, or we're programmed to be that way. So Brandon, I'm going to tell you right now, if you have a day of streaming and you don't feel productive, if you want to come over, or if you want to give us a call, or like that, I'm going to say, pick up the phone and just, you can give us a call. I would like you just to know that you have a support system.
Oh no,
and that also is a good habit, right? You're like, hey, dude, I have this problem, or hey, dude, I've been, thinking like this or like that. Like developing that support system is also a really good habit for your goal.
No, 100%.
Yeah, and you know it, and I mean, I know that Robert probably understands your gaming more. So I'm volunteering him first.
Well, I'm usually the one you call.
You're the. If I had a problem or anything, I'd be like, hey, Robert.
What you usually do?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I would definitely go to you first and be like, hey, man, you want to get some lunch and just talk real quick?
Yeah, but we went over your Poshmark account today. So
that's what I'm saying.
I mean, it really just amazes me how you're opening yourself up to help, because we've always teased you about that, but you just don't like getting help.
It's either I'll succeed at it or I fail fucking miserably.
Well, that's also, that's what we're talking about, right? Like, that's setting yourself up for a bad habit, right? If you're not asking for help is a bad habit.
Yeah, 100%.
Right?
Yeah. So it's just, and again, an improvement where, I personally think anytime that we see each other breaking out of a bad habit, I think a good habit would be just to acknowledge that and to just be like, hey, good job. You know what? In the past, I've always seen you do it this way, but I am aware that you're doing it this way now. And I just want to say, that's, I acknowledge that. And I think that's a healthy system for all of us. Because again, I don't think any one of us has ever been had a bunch of praise heaped upon us.
No.
So you know what? Why not we just try to, be a little bit more supportive of each other?
Yeah.
It also says habits are a double-edged sword. They can work for you, or they can work against you, which is why understanding the details is essential. Small changes often appear to make no difference until you cross the critical threshold. The most powerful outcomes are the compounding process. The most powerful outcomes of any compounding process are delayed. You need to be patient. We all need to be patient.
I'm the most impatient person in the world.
Yes, you are. But again...
Well, I think you're pretty patient at some stuff.
No. The things that I'm patient about, it's a shit show in my brain. I hate it. Like right now, there's a video game that. Dude. So there's this video game I've been playing. Right, it's in closed beta.
Yeah. Oh.
And they haven't established a release date, but everybody thinks it's soon. And there's like this 3 weeks that I've been waiting. Right, this gray area that I don't know when the game's releasing. I don't know when the game's coming out, and I'm fucking livid. I'm at a 9 on my anger scale.
Yep.
Constantly. And this has been since Monday, and I have like 3 more weeks.
Okay, Brandon.
And I'm about ready to fucking blow.
Let's paint a picture for everybody.
I think.
Remember the squirrel with all the nuts in his cheeks?
Yeah.
Well, he laughed. All of its nuts fell out, and now he's pissed.
My nuts are exposed.
Yeah.
Perverting.
You know what? And here's the thing, though. It's like, in all honesty, it's like, I understand, Robert, that this is frustrating for you. Yeah. So, again, breaking bad habits, communication is I know that you're frustrated, and I respect you for that. Being frustrated is not wrong.
No.
And having a human emotion is not wrong.
And I think also too, being impatient is not wrong, but acknowledging that you're impatient is fine.
Taking it out on other people is wrong.
That is wrong.
But no, I'm not saying that.
I feel like there's like this underlying message, right?
Like just like a kind of a
mom's like, I know, small jabs.
Yeah.
Like,
I kicked a couple of nuts away when you weren't looking. But no, but the whole thing is, it's like, again, a lot of times people are like, hey, this is my human emotion, and they apologize for having human emotions. And I don't think emotions should be, you should never have to apologize for an emotion. So
well, it's justified. I mean,
Well,
at some degree, it has to be a justified
yeah.
emotion, right? Nobody's just irrationally angry all the time. There has
Yeah.
to be some sort of
Exactly.
underlying feature.
But I mean, like, if it is a bad emotion that happened, I
Yeah.
mean, like, if something happened and they got insanely pissed off, yeah, like, if it
No,
wasn't
you-
their fault
and
and they just took it out on someone else,
Now that is
That's
wrong.
different, yeah.
See, your emotion, what you feel, what you're feeling isn't wrong. It's how you deal with it. That's where it becomes either right or wrong.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
that's kind of like what I'm trying to talk about.
Yeah, you could be an angry person with some sort of underlying anger, like feelings. But if you take it out on somebody else, then you're just a shithead.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
How you manage your emotions is different than feeling them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, okay, well, yeah,
Yeah.
it's like if you're sad, then that, there's nothing wrong with being sad.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
But if you're fucking taking it on everybody
Well,
else,
let's just
because
say,
you're
for
sad at that
example,
point-
somebody makes me mad, and I'm like, I'm angry. My anger within me is not wrong.
No.
What's wrong is if I turn around and I yell at a clerk at a grocery store because I'm angry.
That's wrong.
See, that's what I'm saying. So a lot of times we get the confusion of where your emotions are wrong, but your emotions aren't wrong. How you deal with them can lead to a wrong
100%.
Yeah.
thing.
100%.
Okay. An atomic habit is a little habit that is part of a larger system. Just as atoms are the building blocks of molecules, atomic habits are the building blocks of remarkable results. If you want better results, then forget about setting goals, focus on your system instead. And finally, you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. I thought this was an amazing chapter that came into our lives at the perfect timing.
Yeah, that was a good book. It
You
was an
know.
easy read too.
Dude, it went by a lot quicker.
Yeah, whoever recommended this, thank you.
Yeah, it was on my TikTok live, and more
Who
than
was
one.
it?
It was more than one time
Oh,
it was
really?
mentioned, and it was mentioned so many times that's why I was like, oh wow, this has to be a really good book.
Over 4 million copies sold.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah. So I just am really, again, I know that I'm always gushing all over everything, but I'm just really super proud as a mom and as a member of this family and as a member of this podcast over the growth that we've exhibited over the last months.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, it's pretty monumental.
Yeah, I mean, small goals, right, or small systems.
Small systems, but man, we just really, you know what? I think that we were just ready. I think we were all just ready for a change.
Yep.
You know, and it was really cool that it kind of just like fell into place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, I mean, dude, like you were saying, like, that fucking job was
I
killing
was waiting
me.
for the phone call, really.
Yeah.
I was really honestly waiting for the phone call. Like either Brandon relapsed and he's drinking or smoking, or mom's in the hospital.
Dude,
Yeah.
Like there'd be some days where it's like 7:30, 8 o'clock at night, and mom's not home. Like, oh, I hope she's still alive. Like
Yeah.
it was getting that bad.
Yeah.
It was bad. I actually, because I was going back through my TikToks because I wanted to do like a little collage of like maybe some, and I just went back like a month, and I was like, wow, I
Yeah.
look like shit.
Yeah.
And it was really to the point where it was affecting me physically. And just in the couple of days that I haven't worked, I like have a little peppy step.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, look at, I got a little pep in my step.
Yeah, you guys said that the rain last night was insanely heavy.
Oh, it was like a train was
I was
coming through.
fucking out.
Oh, really?
Dude, like, my body has been in such a deep sleep. You know what's funny, though? 2 nights ago, I had a dream, because I've been watching a lot of One Piece. I had a dream I was on a boat, like I was a pirate.
Hey, it's
Wow.
a good dream to
It was a
have.
really good dream.
I had a really bad, well, I wouldn't have a bad dream, but it was a hard dream. I told Robert about it.
Mm.
But I kept on dreaming. I think it was last Saturday. But yeah, in my dream, Barbu was alive. But she was alive, and I knew she was alive, and we were doing stuff together. And every time I woke up, it was like I had to realize that she was gone again. And I woke up like 5 times, and each time it was the same fucking thing. And I'm like, oh my God, it was so hard to keep
Yeah.
on continuously like losing her over and over and
Yeah.
over again. And it was such a weird dream.
But she's not gone. I mean, she's gone for sure, but she's also not gone at the same time.
Yeah, but her dream was like Barbu was like sitting at this counter with us.
Yeah. So it was like, and in my dream, I had like that, oh, thank God she's
Yeah.
not dead. And then I'd wake up and I'd be like, well, that was a dream. That
Yeah.
sucked. It was just, I mean, and I know that she's not far, but it was like having to mourn her again
Yeah,
every time.
okay.
Every time I'd wake up, I'd have to mourn her over and over again.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, but to me, that just means that she's just closer than
What are you
normal.
looking at?
What are you doing, Brendan?
What are you guys doing?
What are you looking
What
at?
are you doing?
Oh my God.
So, Brendan, how is Pam handling you home all the time?
Ugh.
That poor little girl. I need to get her.
What are
like,
you talking about? That poor little girl. Poor little me.
I need to get her like a life alert. She needs to get like that grandma, like the grandkid's cell phone that just has one button. You know, she pushes that one button, it calls me, and then I'll come over and make
You
sure.
should put her
she's
in a
okay.
hamster ball.
You know, I probably wouldn't live the next day.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, no, like there's nothing wrong. I mean, she's just been like really attached lately because I think, you know, because I
Having you home, I'm sure, is huge.
But it's more than just the physical appearance. I mean, animals sense when you're okay. They sense when you're not okay. And maybe she just senses that you're like in a healing.
You know what I was thinking right now? Sorry, I didn't mean to
That's okay.
segue your guys' conversation. Continue. Sorry. Never mind.
No, I'm just saying, I think Pam might know that, you know, you need a little bit extra Pam time.
or she's just like, hey, you're home. Play.
Well, this is the first time that she senses that you're not like very like stressed and upset.
Well, that's a good point.
She's probably like, hey, this guy's kind of cool
Yeah.
after 2 years.
This guy's not so
3.
bad.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah. What were you going to say?
What I
Robert?
was saying is that you had mentioned earlier that people just sometimes, you know, obviously they don't have the monetary needs to buy this book.
Mm-hmm.
After we're done reading the books, we should just donate it to whoever wants to read it next.
Yeah.
So if 3 people, you know, like, hey, like this sounds really
Yeah.
cool. I'd like to read it. We should just ship them the books.
Yep.
That sounds like a great idea.
You know, because we won't need it. I mean, why not put more good vibes out there?
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea.
You know.
Yeah. I mean,
So now
mine's-
I'm not going to write my book.
Yours is gonna be all highlighted, but I mean, whoever gets it.
But I'll just sign it.
Yeah, you just sign it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, that's a really cool idea. So,
Maybe we'll bring that up on the TikTok Live or Instagram Live too.
Like, hey,
Yeah.
who wants 3 books?
Yeah, we're like,
Yeah.
hey guys, we're doing a podcast where we read books and you do like a little book club. You know, if you guys want to be a part of it and you guys want to read it after, we'll send it to you.
yeah.
But I mean, if a lot of people do it, we're going to have to pick it out of like a fishbowl.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll just do a drawing, and then even then, there's more systems for people to follow.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I really like that. That's a very cool giving forward kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
How many chapters is this fucking thing?
I don't know, but you better start looking at chapter number 2.
I don't know. It's a pretty big book.
It's a pretty big book.
200 and some odd pages.
Really?
260. Yeah.
There is 20 chapters.
That's
251 pages.
There's 20 chapters.
Yeah, it has 251 pages.
That's 20 weeks.
Yeah.
That's nice.
It's like 6 months.
Is it
What?
really?
Well, it's 5 months.
Wow.
That was quick math.
You're kidding.
I was like, dude,
Apparently
that seems
somebody
like,
went to
it's like
college.
10 years, right?
I'm
Uh-huh.
like, oh, so we'll be done in like 3 weeks?
Wait, how many chapters did you say?
20?
It's 20. Yeah, so 20 chapters, 1 a week.
5 months.
So that's
Yeah.
4 chapters a month.
You know.
5 months. Yeah, 4
Wow,
times 5
so
is
yeah.
20. And then 5 times 5 is 25.
Well, if you want a book in 6 months.
Wait,
I mean, why not, right?
Yeah.
wait. 4. Yeah.
So
I'm
this
losing-
chapter is
losing myself in math.
Don't do math. It hurts.
I know.
41.
My brain.
It's like next chapter is only like 10, 15 pages.
Yeah. That's
They're
what you
easy.
keep
They're
saying.
easy chapters.
But they go by quick because you're so it draws
I
I
mean,
you
and
in.
we could try to read more, but I really don't want to because, I mean, again, I want our systems to be in place, and I just don't want to set us up for failure. And right
Yeah.
now, it's like, I mean, I am just,
Why not, right?
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I like
I mean, or if a chapter is only like 5 pages, then let's do 2
Yeah.
chapters.
Well, the book's, I mean, like I said, the book's not going anywhere. The podcast isn't going anywhere. If nothing else, it just gives people more time to kind of understand the book.
Yeah.
So I'm not
Yeah.
worried.
Because, I mean, like, say if they were like, oh, wait, what did they say again? They can just re-listen to the podcast
Yeah.
and be like, oh, that's right.
Well, yeah, or they can read the book.
Well, if they don't have the
Oh,
book.
they don't have the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Well, a lot of times too, it's like what I want to start doing also is, because I'm going live every day on TikTok. I can do like a little review of the chapters too.
Yeah, absolutely.
If they had any questions, like, hey, what happened? You're like, well, this happened.
I wouldn't read it, but yeah, like Brandon said.
No. It's like if somebody like brings it up, because a lot of times people will bring up the podcast on the lives.
Yeah.
And so it organically is kind of like, oh my gosh, you have a
you'll
podcast?
You'll be able to tell them about the whole episode on YouTube.
Yeah,
now.
I'm going to have to like somehow.
Well, if it's on live, you know what a lot of people have been doing is they've actually just been typing like, full episode in YouTube on in the actual video, but they don't like have the little narration.
Or
they hold a sign.
Yeah.
A lot of people who go like live on Twitch will go live on TikTok, and they'll actually like literally write live on Twitch on a piece of paper and have that.
Because you can't
say it or else you get blackballed. Yeah.
But you
TikTok
can write it somewhere.
TikTok is the only platform that actually punishes you for trying to cross promote.
Yep.
That's weird. Doesn't people?
No, it's a business, dude.
It's a business.
They want you on that
Great
app.
Point.
If you're not on the app, they're not making money.
So I'm super excited because I don't think I told you, Brandon, but I got notification from Instagram that they're actually suspending their ad monetization because they're making the switch to subscriptions.
That's
so
awesome.
I am super excited. So I'm trying to come up with some sort of business model as to what kind of what content I'm going to offer when the subscriptions come out.
Wow.
So I really want to make it a good. I really just appreciate. I love my followers so much. I want to really be able to be like, hey, if you subscribe to my channel, you're going to get this, and this, and I really have to put systems into place. And Robert, if you wouldn't mind when it comes to that point, if you would maybe just review it with me and give me your input. Totally. I would really appreciate that. And you too, Brendan. I mean, I love how you each you each bring something different. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be just really super cool. And I would really like both of your opinions.
Yeah, 100%.
Cool.
So
radical.
So that's the Atomic Habits.
Chapter 1.
And here I was thinking Atomic Habits. I was thinking, I don't know what I was thinking,
but nuclear.
I was thinking like atomic, like bad habits. Like
you mean
things
like
that are
radiation?
Detrimental.
Yeah.
No, like detrimental
like
habits.
like detrimental habits. And I didn't correlate atomic as to like micro. So
that's a good point.
It's a really good read.
Yeah. So it was a really kind of like when I started the whole reading, I'm like, wow, there's no zombies.
Yeah.
You know.
Maybe chapter 2. We don't know.
Yeah, you just never know. All right, so we're done?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, guys, so thank you for listening so much. Again, we'll be doing some lives. You can follow me on all of my social media platforms as Gray Hair and Tattoos. My Poshmark is Gray Hair Tattoos. Brandon?
I am Gummy Bear Brandon on Instagram and Don't Die Disco on Twitch, Twitter. I'm going to create a TikTok, and I'm also going to create an Instagram, but it's all going to be Don't Die Disco. It's Brandon Pike 313.
Okay, cool. Robert is Robert Pike on Instagram. He is Sherbert on YouTube and TikTok. Robert, do you have anything else that you want to promote?
Stay in school.
Stay in school and be nice to your moms.
Bye-bye.
All right, guys. Love you.